Hello and welcome. Today, we are diving deep into one of the all-time great short stories, Katherine Mansfield's The Garden Party. We're going to unpack how one single, seemingly perfect afternoon can completely upend a young woman's entire view of the world. Okay, so let's start with the very first line of the story, because it's just perfect. It tells you everything you need to know about the Sheridans. They're a wealthy family living in a world so flawless, so controlled, it honestly feels like they could just pick up the phone and order a perfect day from the sky. This one sentence beautifully sets the stage for a world built on absolute, curated perfection. So in our breakdown, we're going to be following Laura, who's the artistic daughter of the family. And as she gets wrapped up in the preparations for this huge garden party, we're going to see how her seemingly perfect little world starts to show some pretty major cracks. Right from the get-go, Mansfield paints this picture of incredible contrasts. You have the Sheridan estate up on the hill. It's gorgeous, overflowing with flowers, with these great silvery plumes of smoke coming from the chimneys. And then you just look down the lane and you see these mean little cottages where the working class lives, with their sad little rags and shreds of smoke. It's such a powerful visual divide between two totally separate realities existing side by side. This contrast is the perfect setup for the first real crack in Laura's perfect world. And it doesn't happen because of some big dramatic event. Nope. It comes from a simple, very human conversation with the workmen who show up to put up the marquee for the party.
So Laura, the artistic one, is sent out to supervise them. And she's a little awkward at first, right? She's trying to put on her mother's fancy, affected voice, but she's just immediately charmed by these guys. They're not like the formal, kind of silly boys she knows. They're relaxed, they're friendly, they're real. And that little detail of her holding a piece of bread and butter, it's just a fantastic symbol of her innocence in that moment.
And this leads to her first little moment of rebellion. She has this epiphany, She feels a real connection and decides that she just hates these absurd class distinctions. In her mind, she's totally above it all, convinced she doesn't feel them, not a bit, not an atom. It's a bit naive, but it's a start.
But right as Laura is soaking in this feeling, enjoying the party prep and the beautiful day, bam! The harsh reality of that other world, the one just down the lane, crashes into her garden in the most brutal way. And that sets up the huge moral conflict of the entire story.
The news just comes casually from the delivery guy. A local carter, Mr. Scott, who lives in one of those cottages, has been thrown from his horse and killed right outside their gate. And what's worse, he's left behind a wife and 5 small children. Laura's reaction is immediate and full of empathy. She's horrified and says they have to cancel the party out of respect. But her sister, Jose, she shuts her down instantly. That one line, calling her absurd, is the family's first line of defense. It's how they push away any unpleasantness that tries to get in. In this moment, it just lays the family's worldview bare. Jose is so practical she's cruel, even suggesting the man was probably drunk. And her mother, Mrs. Sheridan, is almost amused by Laura's feelings, saying things like, people like that don't expect sacrifices from us. Her first question, which is just horrifying, was whether the accident happened in the garden. Unbelievable.
Laura is not giving up, though. She decides to go to her mother, who she sees as her last hope to stop the party. But Mrs. Sheridan has a secret weapon, a very clever and very powerful tool of distraction she's about to use.
And that weapon is this hat. Now, this is not just any hat. It becomes the central symbol of the story. It stands for vanity, for social status, and it's basically the stylish armor the upper class wears to protect themselves from anything ugly, inconvenient, or real. The way her mother does it is just masterful manipulation. Laura's making her passionate moral case, and her mom just goes, "Here, try on this new hat," and holds up a mirror. And just like that, Laura sees herself, and she's captivated. The horrible tragedy suddenly feels distant, unreal. Vanity totally defeats her empathy. So the party goes on, and of course it's a massive success. But after everyone's gone, the topic of the dead man comes up again. And this time, Mrs. Sheridan has what she thinks is a brilliant idea. They'll send the grieving family all the party leftovers. Laura is the only one who gets how weird and insulting this is. I mean, to take scraps from their party. That phrase says it all. The Sheridans genuinely believe their garbage, their leftovers, are a greatest treat for the poor. It is such a sharp critique of their clueless, condescending idea of charity. Even though she feels uneasy, Laura is the one sent down the lane with the basket, and the change in atmosphere is just jarring.
She goes from a world of tinkling spoons and laughter and flowers to a world of total silence, smoky lamps, and somber women in shawls. She is literally crossing the border between her perfect, curated life and the raw reality of death.
When she gets inside the cottage, she's let in to see Mr. Scott's body, and she expects it to be awful, but instead she sees him looking peaceful, almost dreamlike. And in that one moment, face to face with actual death, the total silliness of her own world, her party, her concerns, it all comes crashing down. The hat, which was a source of pride, is now a symbol of her shame, and all she can manage to sob is that simple, perfect apology.
So Laura basically flees the cottage, completely overwhelmed. She's just had what we call an epiphany, a massive, life-changing realization, but it's so big, so profound, that she literally can't find the words to express it yet.
She runs right into her brother, Lori, who's really the only person in her family she thinks might actually get it. She tries to explain what she just saw, what she just felt, but the words just won't come out. All she can stammer is this one unfinished searching question.
And this is the beautiful part. Lori doesn't press her. He doesn't ask what she means. He just gets it. His simple answer shows that they share this deep, unspoken connection, this understanding of the giant, complicated things she's just experienced.
So, what's the big takeaway here? Well, the story doesn't give us a neat, tidy moral. Laura's big realization is messy. It's the sudden, mind-blowing understanding that life isn't just one thing or the other. It's everything, all at once. The beautiful garden party and the dead man in the cottage, they're both real. They're both part of life.
And that leaves us with one last, lingering question to chew on. At the end, Laura describes her experience as simply marvelous. So, has she really broken free from her sheltered, privileged world? Or has she just found a new, more profound, more artistic thing to observe from a distance? It's a fantastic, tricky question, and it's exactly where Mansfield wants to leave us.